Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this Friday, September 10th. Live from the Beasley Media Complex in Boone, this is the Appalachian Weekly News. I'm Mia Mendez.
And I'm Grace Powers.
And now with the latest on COVID-19 in the High Country. As of September 4th, there are 112 active cases in students and 6 in faculty. 52% of students are vaccinated according to the self-reporting based system in place by Student Health, and 89% of employees are vaccinated. Fully vaccinated students are still available to win scholarships and other incentives by submitting their vaccination status through MedPortal. Free testing is also still available every Wednesday at the Holmes Convocation Center from noon to 3 p.m.
And as Mia just pointed out, COVID cases are rising here in Boone. This has left many students concerned, especially as the university continues to host large events like football games and concerts. Our correspondent, Zanara Marine Lopez, has more.
This past week, the App State community witnessed 2 events that some people are calling super spreaders. Thursday night, App State football traveled to Charlotte to play against ECU, and this past Saturday, over 40,000 people attended the Luke Combs concert in Kidd Brewer Stadium. Masks were not required at either of these events. There are currently 118 active cases within the university, but these are expected to rise. App State used to update their COVID-19 dashboard daily last fall, but this year they've decided to take a step back, only updating it every Monday. In the past few weeks, there's been a push in the community to go online or even offer a Zoom option for classes, from a petition to Faculty Senate to a student petition on change.org. Junior Christian Martin is one of many students who shared the petition on social media and encourages others to join the cause.
The petition is only 32 signatures away from 1,000. And I think that just speaks volumes to how students feel on campus right now. Personally, I don't feel safe in my classrooms, especially when classes are not made to social distance anymore. You know, this is supposed to be just a return to fall of 2019. And so to me, that's dangerous because you're risking the health of students who might, have high risk factors that make them more prone to COVID.
And others are. Another App State student, Erin McIntyre, said she feels strongly about the event this past weekend and how they'll change where Boone is at in the pandemic.
No one was required to wear masks, and they didn't check for vaccination cards or negative tests. And they didn't space anyone out. I think it would have made at least a little bit of difference if they spaced people out and maybe made sure some people social distance coming in and out and get concession type stuff.
Whether we'll go online or not is up to the university, and it's unclear whether a decision will come and when. But for now, stay safe, socially distant, wear your mask, and don't go to class if you feel unsafe or were exposed. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Zanara Marine Lopez.
Over 40,000 people packed into Kidd Brewer Stadium for the Luke Combs concert. After being postponed for a year and a half due to COVID concerns, Luke Combs finally took the stage this past Saturday. Luke Combs made his stadium debut here in his former college town alongside alumnus Adam Church. He was also joined by frequent collaborators Drew Parker and Ray Fulcher. Combs gave crowds at The Rock his first live performance of his single, South Anya. Some students attended the long-awaited concert, while others are concerned about it being a potential super spreader event. There were no testing requirements, proof of vaccination, or mask mandates for the concert. And as Zanira pointed out, there is a petition circulating for all classes to have an online option after the university has been having events with high attendance and no mask mandates.
Speaking of COVID-19, things have been changing all over Boone because of this. From going to gym, going to class, or even going to church, our reporter Josh Scott has more on how local churches are looking to bring members back safely.
For churches in Boone and in the surrounding area, they're glad to be somewhat back to normal. But for some, they may never be the same.
Throughout the pandemic, many local churches have been trying to keep their congregations together, primarily through online formats.
Churches realize they need to be online, and they're going to continue to stay using virtual technology to reach people.
Alabama native Ed Glaze, who took over pastoral duties at Boone United Methodist Church at the beginning of the summer, tells a heartwarming story of how a small church chose to rally around one of their own.
They were hesitant back at the beginning of the pandemic to do any of the restrictions. There was a fellow in the church named Jimmy who had a heart condition, and he wanted to come back to church but was scared. The church said, you know what? And we may not agree with these masks, but because Jimmy wants to come to church and wants us to wear a mask, we're going to put on a mask for Jimmy. The people appreciated that and said, yeah, we're doing this for other folks, not just for ourselves.
Good morning and welcome to worship today at Grace Lutheran here in Boone, North Carolina.
Pastor Steve Troisi of Grace Lutheran Church also emphasizes the need for churches to rally around each other, despite the fact that some are cautious on returning to in-person services.
We've seen a lot of folks come once or twice and then flip back to going online, especially here with the Delta variant surge. It's okay to be cautious and concerned. It's okay to kind of evaluate what type of risk you're willing to take. But just because we're afraid of getting sick or maybe just concerned or cautious, it doesn't mean we need to be afraid of our neighbors.
The same can be said for Crosspoint Church's head pastor Scott Stewart, who can't express enough on how valuable community is.
There have been a handful of folks who I've personally reached out to who I haven't had not come back. And I just simply texted them saying, hey, we miss seeing you guys. Hope you guys are well. In-person is up and running. Let me know if there's anything personally that would help you to re-enter that.
While pastors continue to encourage their congregations to stay safe and follow necessary protocols, they also stress the need for community. For it's during these trying times, community is the strongest form of therapy. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Josh Scott.
The Apple Cart is also running low on drivers for both buses and vans. Due to a shortage of drivers, the Apple Cart will have to take down the number of buses they are sending out each day as they continue to train and hire new drivers. While some routes won't change at all, the gray route will be moving to silver for the time being. Be sure to check out the Transloc app for updates on route changes, arrival times, and more.
Former App State Chancellor John E. Thomas passed away on September 2nd at the age of 90. Thomas served as chancellor from 1979 to 1993, where he made a big effort to improve technology across campus. After his term as chancellor came to an end, Thomas worked as a North Carolina Utilities Commissioner before coming back to App State to teach in the Walker College of Business before retiring in 2004. In an email to students, Chancellor Sherry Everts wrote, "He championed the importance of teaching, research, and service. He will forever occupy a special place in my heart and the heart of our campus community." A memorial service for Thomas is being held at noon on September 12th at Boone United Methodist Church.
If you live around the Cottages, you may have noticed some trash piling up around the complex's dumpsters. Our correspondent Stephen Biddix has more on the ongoing issue.
The Cottages of Boone are a student apartment complex for App State students. If you've been on any social media websites or forum pages, you might have noticed people complaining about the trash situation. I was able to talk to a few students that live in the Cottages and take a look at what this trash problem is about.
It has recently been brought to the attention of the public the trash issue that the Cottages of Boone has, with residents speaking out more than before. Throughout the Cottages, you can see full to overflowing dumpsters along with all types of trash all over the ground. I spoke with Dre Blackburn, a resident of the Cottages, to learn more about some of the issues they are facing.
For move-in, they brought separate dumpsters, not the ones that they have, but they've had those here since move-in date, which was August 14th, and they've just been overflowing. Trash literally circled around them, a mountain of trash out of the dumpster, overflowing.
Dre also discussed about how the Cottage's maintenance does not clean up any of this trash, and it's also become a safety hazard for dogs.
And then the Cottage's maintenance or whoever deals with that doesn't even bother to pick it up for the whole next week. It's like it has to decompose there. Obviously it won't, but a whole week will go by and you'll see the same trash that you saw the week before. It's just horrible. I mean, say you got a dog, you're walking around, that's, that's just unsafe for the dog, or it's just not a good look.
I did reach out to the Cottages, but received no comment.
Many students and residents are still awaiting responses from the Cottages on when the trash issues will be resolved and for some answers about their post-move-out statements. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Stephen Biddix.
App State has hit a landmark enrollment number of 20,641 students for this fall semester, with an overall increase of 3.1% from the year before. More than 4,000 new freshmen hit campus this semester as well, the first time a university has ever passed that mark. Did you know that App State has a pretty high percentage of students that actually transfer into the university? With the growth in enrollment, I'm really curious of what the options are as far as on-campus housing.
Well, Mia, the university has repurposed the APH to exclusively house transfer students. Our correspondent Dylan Henson has more on the story.
Located off campus at the intersection of Highway 221 and Blowing Rock Road sits the newly reimagined transfer student dorm. Formerly known as Appalachian Panhellenic Hall, Mountain Laurel Hall is a transfer community. I spoke with Matt Hunsenor with Transfer Admissions and Engagement about this new community.
One of the best things about my job this year is that I actually work inside Mountain Laurel Hall. Mountain Laurel Hall is a residence hall that is dedicated to transfer students. This is an exciting new adventure made possible through a partnership with University Housing and Transfer Admissions and Engagement. And what's exciting is that the students that live in the hall, over 250 transfer students, it's an opportunity for them to be inside a community where they can feel supported and have access to resources.
What makes this building unique is not the dorm itself, but where I'm at right now. The Transfer Student Center, located on the ground floor of Mountain Laurel Hall, was created for a place for transfer students to have a place to engage and build community regardless of residency status. I spoke with transfer students about what they enjoyed most about being a student at App State.
Hi, my name is Noah C. Cornelius. I'm a communications electronic media broadcasting major here at Appalachian State. I'm also a transfer student. Going into it, I didn't know what to expect as a transfer student. I thought I'd be spending all 4 of my years at one institution. So transferring to App State was definitely a change of pace, especially after taking a gap year due to COVID. But I will say living in Mountain Laurel Hall has been absolutely fantastic. We have a great community here. We're a little bit off campus, so we kind of have to be a little bit of a family, you know what I mean? But I absolutely have loved my experience. I feel like a normal App student, and I wouldn't trade it in for the world.
Hi, my name is Carly, and I'm a third-year student here at Appalachian State University, and I'm a social work major. My favorite thing about being a transfer student is that it's nothing compared to community college. It's a whole new experience, and I love being here.
Ben Jurel, the president of TSO, tells us about how you can get involved in the Transfer Student Organization.
My name is Ben Jurel. I'm the vice president of TSO. We're the transfer student organization. We plan events and fundraisers, just fun things for transfer students to do to get off campus or on campus and make new friends and connections. We meet bi-weekly on Thursdays in the club room next to the transfer student mentor office.
As time goes on, many transfer students will have the opportunity to connect with other students and engage because of this new transfer community. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Dylan Henson.
Recruitment is looking a little different this year for those looking to join a sorority on campus. The Panhellenic Council of Sororities on campus made the decision to move the first 2 days of recruitment online. This means the board's round of recruitment will be held over Zoom. The Panhellenic Council did not provide a specific reason for moving their activities online, but rising COVID cases among students could have played a role in the decision. The first 2 days of recruitment were held online, but the third day occurred in person. Plans for recruitment this weekend are also set to be held in person, with strict rules requiring masks.
It's definitely been more difficult to get in contact with potential recruits. Especially last semester was really difficult. We had probably the lowest amount of people who rushed last semester. It's just been difficult getting people involved and kind of staying cautious as well. We haven't been able to have as many social events or that kind of thing. Been difficult with fundraising events, kind of getting involved with the community because we don't want to endanger people. We also still want to be involved.
I feel like all I've heard about in the sports world is updates on the ECU game last weekend, but I kind of would love to know if there's anything else.
Yeah, Alex, what do you have for us for sports this week?
A lot's been happening on in sports here at App State, but let's start off with women's soccer. Last Sunday, App State women's soccer team faced Wake Forest at the Ted McEnroe Soccer Complex and lost 2-0. Although they may have lost the game, junior goalkeeper Carrie Eagleston had one of the best performances in her App State career, securing her personal best of 20 saves in one game. She was one save short of tying the program record of 21 saves that was set in 1995 by Kaylee Gann against Davidson. Last night, the Mountaineers played the first game of their 4-game away series against Wofford, and their next game is this Sunday against Florida International University, where they plan to build momentum for the first game of the Sun Belt Conference against rivals Georgia Southern on September 16th. On Tuesday, App State men's track and field head coach Damian McLean announced on social media that starting next fall, they will start using their new facility. The program will start a new chapter with an upgrade from the Tawn Kennedy Trails. App State student graduate athlete Daniel Smith has also been announced as the Sun Belt Men's Cross Country Runner of the Week by the league on Wednesday. Smith is the first Mountaineer to be announced Runner of the Week since last season on Isaac Benz. This is Smith's first Conference Runner of the Week award, and he earned it by helping App finish second in the 2021 season opener at the Covered Bridge Open. And back to football, App State men's football team is currently on their way to Florida, where they will play at Hard Rock Stadium. The Mountaineers will be looking to grab their second win of the season after they defeated ECU 33-19 last Friday at Bank of America Stadium. It'll be a tough task as Miami will be looking to get back on track after losing the first game of the season 44-13 to number 1 ranked team Alabama. Miami may be the favorites, but App State definitely has the better momentum leading into the game. That's all for sports this week. Mia, great.
Thanks, Alex. That's our report this week. I'm Mia Mendez.
And I'm Grace Powers. For all of us here at the Appalachian Weekly News, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.